Okay, Thursday night after the Europa League games. Imagine watching that. This is what happened, and here it is. BBC. They give you the whole timeline here. So I'm watching BT Sport. The pundits are complaining, saying, "Oh, everything should be banned." Da 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 da. And 9:30. An announcement by the Premier League that they will not suspend games. This weekend's games are going forward. That would have been yesterday. Anyway, BT pundits saying it's all wrong, it's all wrong. 45 minutes later, Arsenal announced that Arteta has tested positive. BT Sport are already saying, oh, they've got to ban it, they've got to suspend games, they've got to suspend games. Then BT Sport announced there, 10:30, that the Premier League are going to have an emergency meeting the next day, the next morning, Friday morning. Here it is. Mikel Arteta. Personal statement. He felt very poorly, took the test, and he's got corona. The whole of their training facilities shut down. London Colney Centre shut down. So either Arsenal tested him straight after the Premier League announcement, tested him earlier that day, or when. And nobody's asking why, when, how. There are several ways to take the test, supposedly. Supposedly there's a test that takes 20 to 25 minutes. Supposedly there's a test that takes 6 hours. How long does it take? Supposedly in America, or there's a center in Parsons Green where it takes 72 hours. So were they discussing with the EPL, Arsenal FC, were they discussing with the Premier League? Have they usurped the Premier League? Did they hear the announcement, then test him? Did they already have his test results? No one's asking any questions. I haven't seen anything about this. How does this work out? As soon as the announcement is made that the games will go forward, Mikel Arteta has corona. I mean, am I the only one who... is this not strange to anybody? So anyway, here we can see that after you take a test, it's only a presumptive decision. Everyone, according to the government, UK government at least, everyone who takes the test needs to go to laboratory testing for confirmation. So, had Mikel Arteta been confirmed with corona? I mean, clearly not, or I'm assuming not, unless he'd been to a laboratory to have his testing confirmed. Another test, it takes swabs from the nose, the mouth. There's a polymerase chain reaction machine that they say it can normally take 3 hours for a test result. So you have a swab test, a blood test, and supposedly the test can be done without any symptoms. Now, the only symptom that Arteta had, or he said he had, was that he was feeling unwell. So oddly enough, he's either feeling unwell that day, maybe the announcement of the Premier League games going forward at 9:30 p.m. on Thursday evening caused him to go off to feel unwell. But either way, any corona test, it should be confirmed in a laboratory. Now, maybe the next morning or throughout the night they took him to a laboratory. Either way, that wasn't made public. You see here, sending samples to the laboratory. This is all .gov. I mean, there are only supposedly 8 centres in the UK where a confirmation of corona can be confirmed. I believe it's 8, maybe there's more, but there's between 8 and 10 centres across the UK where the presumptory result of corona needs to be taken to be confirmed. Now this is from the government. So for sure, the announcement that Arteta had corona was not confirmed because we didn't hear, or it wasn't announced anyway to the public, we didn't hear that he was ill until after the announcement of the Premier League at 9:30 on Thursday evening that said that the games this weekend would go ahead. Again, statement: samples that are positive on initial tests are presumptive and require laboratory testing. So, by that time, Arteta may still not have actually had corona. Yet Arsenal FC announced that he has corona. I mean, it's all very strange, man. All very strange. And the implication of it, of him having corona, is huge. You can see here, there's a testing centre in Parsons Green where people who have called 111 drive round in their cars. They're not allowed to get out of their car. They're tested with their window wound down at the side by doctors dressed in, protective gear. Then they're sent back home to self-isolate, and they're given results within 72 hours, it says. So, did Mikel Arteta get a fast-tracked result? And if he did get a fast-tracked result, then his corona case is not confirmed. Which is odd. Here you go, here's the test that says that you could... a fast test, it says that you can be told within 20-25 minutes. So did Arsenal hear the announcement of the EPL, then think, oh, we better test Arteta, tested him within 25 minutes, and then actually get him tested, because the time here says within 47, something like that. Where is it again? Here we go. Here's the timeline from the BBC. Yeah, so announcement from the Premier League, 9:30, within 47 minutes, Arsenal say that the manager has tested positive for corona. Less than 20 minutes later, after that, the Premier League announced that they'll hold an emergency meeting on Friday to discuss it. That emergency meeting was the catalyst for that meeting was Mikel Arteta's illness. I mean, it's very strange, all of this, very odd. Now, what really takes the biscuit here is that on Saturday, Mikel Arteta's cured. On Saturday, he's already feeling better. So within 2 days of him getting corona, he's been cured. Now, it's odd he's cured within 2 days, yet 2 weeks of Premier League fixtures are suspended or cancelled based on his illness. I mean, let me not say that it's only his illness, but his illness was the catalyst, because at 9:30, 45 minutes before his declaration that he had it, the government, Boris Johnson had said that they're not going to cancel games. The Premier League said they're not going to cancel games. 45 minutes later, Mikel Arteta's got corona, and they're going to have an emergency meeting on Friday morning. And then that Friday morning, they decide to suspend the games for the weekend. Now, this doesn't take into account the fact that any test for any illness, there are false positives and false negatives. So he may have been tested and he doesn't actually have it. It could have been a wrong, diagnosis. Again, there are different time periods for the testing measures. It couldn't have been confirmed that he had corona until it'd been taken for a laboratory test. So, for sure based on what I know, or I'm guessing they haven't told us everything, but based on what they've told us, the Premier League was suspended based on a presumptory corona positive results, not confirmed results, because they haven't been taken to the laboratory for confirmation. Here, thank you for your kind words. I'm feeling better already. We're all facing huge and unprecedented challenge. Blah, 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 blah. All of this in order to cancel 2 weeks of Premier League fixtures. So, just to summarise, there's a lot that hasn't been answered here. Why? Transparency, huh? Tell us exactly what happened. It's insane, man. Anyway, I'm out.